here today to roll out the program and explain exactly how it works and how it functions and how you can turn in a tip. And it is completely anonymous. We will all get a handout before this process ends. We have some very distinguished guests. We have Mayor Wilder from North Canton, Mayor Catazaro Perry from Maston, Ohio, and we have our Chief Prosecutor, John Ferrara, as well as the big leader, who's sponsored this and got it up in New York. So I'm going to quickly introduce the county prosecutor, who will explain to you how he got this up and going, and he will bring up the other folks you mentioned. They were very, very grateful to participate. We did have a fundraiser. We have a little over $7,000 in our coffers to help them produce the rewards. It's all done, like I said, in the handout that you all have in front of you. John, would you like to? Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Greg. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the, I guess, the official launch of our new crime-solving, crime-fighting, crime prevention tool, Crime Stoppers. In 2017, Pastor Walter Moss, who is the SERV director in my office, and also Jim Knight, who is our crime prevention specialist, came into me and they had an idea. They wanted to looking into getting Stark County on Crime Stoppers. You know, I know we've seen it on TV in Cleveland. I know Akron, Summit County has it, and all over the country there's various programs with Crime Stoppers that have been very successful. Asked them to do their research, come back to me and see what we're looking at and what needs to be done, which they did. And at that point, I said, "Go ahead, let's get this going." So I congratulate and thank Pastor Moss and Jim Knight for getting this going and giving the idea. And one of the main things that they had to do was get a group of citizens together that were going to be interested in making sure this worked. And they also did that. They formed a committee. They sat down, they discussed everything that needs to be done. They had to form a 501c3 so that we could get donations. They had to look at various aspects. And all those good, dedicated citizens here in Stark County came together, which now they are the board members of our Crime Stoppers. And I want to just personally thank them. I'm sure Greg will introduce all of them individually later. But thank you for your hard work on that. And now the hard work begins in that when we do get tips solving crimes, you'll have to determine what kind of reward you will be given out. And one of the most important functions of the board is to raise funds. I know we started out pretty good, but you got to keep the ante going. And there's a lot of good organizations out there, a lot of foundations that will be willing to donate. You just got to go and ask and show the success in which what we're doing here. Also, I'd like to thank all the law enforcement officers here today, all the law enforcement agencies that have contributed to Crime Stoppers. Many of us have funds in our department that we get from forfeitures, and this fits this is a basic item where it fits the good of that, where we can solve other crimes and prevent other crimes. So thank you, all the law enforcement agencies, for what you have donated up to today, and thank you for what you'll be donating to in the future, because we're going to make sure this program keeps going. This in the police agencies have to realize this tool is going to really help us solve crimes. And as I said earlier, this is not only a crime-solving tool, it's a crime prevention tool, and also a crime-solving tool. Many times in my many years here as county prosecutor, how many times have we sat down with law enforcement officers knowing we know who that person is, we know this person has information on them, but they're not willing to talk to us. And the reason being is, of course, probably retaliation or threats to that person, their family, their property. They just don't want to get involved and get their name out there because they know there's consequences. Crime Stoppers prevent or helps that. Okay, when a person calls in, it's going to be anonymous. We don't know who that is. We're going to give it to the law enforcement agency that's investigating the crime. They will look into it. If it comes out that we will get an arrest and conviction, then that's when a person will be awarded the money that we will determine that they should get. And to be honest with you, we've learned by talking to other Crime Stoppers organizations, many people that call in tips don't want a reward. They're just happy to get a bad person off the street. They're just happy that they can contribute to the information we need, where they don't have to give their name and help their community, help their neighborhood. So I'm not saying everybody's in for the money on this. I think there are a lot of good citizens just want to help their cities, their county, and their neighborhoods to be safe. So I'm excited. I know that we've already had a few tips. I believe that were given that proved to be very fruitful, very helpful to law enforcement. I know we have some very serious unsolved crimes in the county. I'm just hoping with the media to get this out that we could help to show that we need help to solve a few of these crimes. We know there's people out there that know who did these crimes. So please, we got to get that message out there. Please call in and give us that tip where we can work on it and see if it helps us. Again, I'm excited. I think it's going to be a great program, and I just want to thank Greg and his board for all your hard work. You're doing a great job and continue to do so in the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mayor, I'd like to introduce everybody, Mayor Kathy Catazaro-Perry from Massillon, Ohio. Thank you, Mayor.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's an honor to be with you here today as we gather to support such a valuable community program. I would like to thank Jim Molnar and Greg Hawk and the Board of Directors for the invitation to speak with you briefly. As being the mayor of a city of a population of about 32,000 plus residents, some might say that crime in Massillon doesn't equal that of the larger Ohio cities such as Cleveland, Columbus, or Cincinnati. While there's truth to that, the fact remains that the crime is prevalent everywhere. And that's why we need to use all the tools in our toolbox, working together to prevent crime. And so I became involved with Crime Stoppers to empower our community and to give them a voice to keep all of us safe. It's the basic premise of if you see something, say something. That's what makes Crime Stoppers a great tool, allowing people to report crime while remaining anonymous and safe. We must remain vigilant and steadfast in the fight against crime, always looking out for one another. As Maya Angelou once said, we are not our brother's keeper. We are our brother and we are our sister. Thank you to the Stark County Crime Stoppers for helping all of us to look out for one another and making our community safe and a great place to live, work, and to raise a family. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. A moment, I want to apologize. Mayor Tom Burnaby from Canton, Ohio, at the last minute got called away to something else. He sends his apologies and his regrets for not being able to attend this afternoon. Mayor Weiler from North Canton, please. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Hawk, and good afternoon, everyone. I want to thank the Sheriff's Department for their willingness to open up our facility here for these comments tonight, or this afternoon. And I echo what Mayor Catazaro-Perry just mentioned about keeping our community safe. Oftentimes I think of what's our first line of safety, and it's ourselves. We look out for each other and we care for each other, and I have faith in our communities that we can care for each other. But you know, getting information and giving information is very important to law enforcement. And providing an extra source of communicating an issue that you've witnessed or seen or experienced in your community, this tip line of 411 from the STARKTIP is a new avenue for us to help our citizens have another source of communication, reporting something. And if I just go to my phone right here, you know, I have it documented right here on my front page, Stark County Crime Stoppers. And it's very easy. You just hit the menu, and it has the major police departments are involved already in this program. And you can hit the tip, and it just says put in your tip, your information, and away you go. So it's at your fingertips right there on your phone, because I think having a cell phone is just a normal part of everyday life. But this just gives us another form of communication, because you know, for our dispatchers, and to get that information and to get it accurately from you is key, so that we protect our own officers that are going out and investigating. So getting information and allowing our dispatchers and our law enforcement to interpret that information and use it to our best advantage to, you know, to pursue whatever your tip is. So again, I have faith in our communities, and I have faith in each other, that we'll can care for each other. But this one tip is at your fingertips, and it's there that you can report something quickly to us, and that hopefully we'll get the response that needs to be going to. So, just thank you very much for the prosecutor's office. You know, North Canton has always had a tip line, an anonymous tip line, and we are not a partner in this program as of yet. But it's something I'm going to take back for our city and our police department to look at and see if we can become also a part of this. Because the nice thing about the app, you can actually go right to the police agency that you're at, whether it's Jackson, Canton, Naslin, or the Sheriff's Department. So thank you very much for the invitation to be here. It's my honor and privilege to be a part of supporting this program. So may you all stay safe and keep well. Thank you very much.
Again, thank you very much, Mayor. Now, we really need to hear from the gentlemen who go out and do the work in the streets, the guys with boots are on the ground. Major Stance from the Stark County Sheriff's Department, please.
Thank you. First, on behalf of Sheriff George Meyer, he sends his condolences. He cannot be here today. I just want to talk a little bit about what we do when it comes to the day-to-day out on the streets. It's simple when we have the investigators are out trying to track down when a crime has happened, but it's the people that send in those tips that help us solve it a little bit quicker. You know, anybody can look at the crimes that we've had in our community, some of the heinous crimes that have happened, and know that we also need everyone else's help. We can't be everywhere, but we have citizens out there that see a lot of things. The other thing I think got failed to mention on this tip 411 is you can also take pictures. You can send pictures of license plates or individuals and things like that. You can send that information with your tip. And then I know it got brought up that information can be sent to any agency on that tip line that can be sent directly to that police agency that's investigating that crime. So from the boots on the ground, as you want to say, you know, we look for those assistance from the citizens out there in our community to help us solve those crimes and get these dangerous individuals off the street. So on behalf of Sheriff George Meyer, I thank you guys all for being here. Have a great day.
Thank you very much. I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce to you Canton City's Chief of Police, Chief Jack Angelo.
Thank you, Greg. I want to start just by thanking the committee that put all of this together. I know it was a lot of work. In 2002, Canton, we looked at trying to do this, and it was just too monumental for a police department to do on their own. And everything that came with it. So I know what they went through, all the work they had to do, and we truly appreciate that. And I think one of the greatest things is them cooperating with the TIP 411. We've had TIP 411 for probably about 5 years now, and we've got countless tips that have helped us solve a myriad of crimes. And I also want to say that, as we all know, Canton's had a rash of homicides recently. And I called the committee and I asked for some help with a reward. And there wasn't any questions other than, well, how much do you want? And we really appreciate that. That shows the commitment of the Crime Stoppers group to help law enforcement. And again, I truly thank you. And we have received tips, numerous tips for these homicides. You know, as we still investigate the Ace Lucas homicide, we still receive tips. You know, that's a horrible homicide of a 1-year-old who was killed. We also have the Bush homicide, and we're receiving tips on that also. And the more we can put out, the better it is. And again, I just want to thank, we really need to understand how much work this board has put in to get us to where we are today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chief. One final representation from our law enforcement is Major Monaco from the Jackson Township PD. Thank you, Major.
Good afternoon. I'd like to follow Chief Angelo was saying. We appreciate the effort of this committee. Moving forward, this type of tool is something we can use. It can be beneficial to us, and we encourage the committee to become involved, or the community to become involved. Like I said, oftentimes people are willing to get behind a keyboard, send information which can help us solve things, and we're in a place that we'll take any tips we can in a lot of crimes. So without saying anything else, we appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time. One final speaker, and it's our Vice President, Jim. And I want to say one thing because I will not be returning tonight. Jim will close it out for us. But thank everybody for coming today. And I think what we see here is truly county-wide. And that's the thing we need to stress the most. This encompasses everybody in our county. We're here to make sure we get some criminals off the streets. This has been a great support for everybody, from everybody. So I thank you for your time and your energy. Jim?
I just want to reiterate what Greg said about thank you for everybody for being here, and thank you for all the law enforcement and the mayors for being here as well, and their backing. I don't think there's anything more important about being an American and realizing that you're empowered to be part of the process. And I think this is one of the things that makes it so wonderful about having Crime Stoppers in our area. It's something that people can help themselves be safe in their own community and work together with the law enforcement. As we've said before, if it's an immediate crime, call 911. Otherwise, use the tip line for things that have happened that we're looking for to help solve the crime. As Greg mentioned, the board members, Greg is our president, I'm the vice president. Mark Anthony, here today, he's kind of videotaping, so he's our treasurer. And other members of the board, again, Mayor Kathy Catazero-Perry, Kelly Williams, and Fred Scott are both here. And they are representatives of the community as well. And Fred also is from law enforcement. I don't believe I left anyone out that was on the committee. Again, thank you to the chiefs, the sheriff, the prosecutor, and all the mayors. Without their support, we could not have done this. And with that, let's go out and make Stark County a safer place. Thank you very much.